uh, this so can we can call COVID crisis. So we all know the nature is governed by many laws: law of karma, law of uncertainty, law of evolution, law of the duality, and in the same way, law of gratitude also plays a major role in day-to-day living. Everybody aspires about the success. Success is determined by various factors in the life. For example, health and harmonious relationships, career, and all the personal life. So, how today the gratitude experts, both the dad and daughter, are with us. They are none other than our Prashant Jain. He is author of Vitamin G. He is an entrepreneur, and he started his wonderful career from 24 years. And Anamika is a medical student. I love to interact with the medical people, but today Prashant Jain, being the father of a medical student, I invited for this program. Okay, so today most of the questions uh, Anamika is going to shoot to her dad. Okay, welcome to the show, Prashant ji, Dr. Prashant ji. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. I'm not a doctor, but I'm Prashant Jain.
Prashant
My
Jain.
book,
Prashant Jain.
yes,
Right.
yes.
Okay.
My book,
Welcome
Vitamin
to
G, was
hi
published about.
Anamika. Welcome to the show. She is from Mumbai, studying. Okay, she will introduce herself during this interaction. Uh, Prashantji,
Yes, yes. Thank
define
you,
gratitude
Dr.
because
Hari. Thank you
you are an
for
entrepreneur.
introducing me.
You're an entrepreneur, and you are a successful motivational speaker. You conduct various programs to the corporates, and you have a wonderful group of uh, the spiritual friends. So today we'd like to know more about the gratitude, how it is going to help during this crisis, especially how gratitude plays a major role in crisis management.
Right. Wonderful. So, gratitude is a skill and a practice and a quality that is in all of us. And in crisis time, it's the most best type of immunity that is available to us to whatever life is offering us. Today, with this COVID crisis, we are facing an immense amount of challenges. Challenges in our economics, challenges in our health, challenges in our survival, challenges in our safety. Everywhere there seems to be a problem, and we have been locked down now for over almost 45 days when we are just at our homes and unable to do all the things that we used to take for granted. So suppose if we used to take our mates for granted, today every day we are remembering them and how grateful we were that they could do all that work, right? So gratitude is a skill and a practice that is required for everybody, and especially in this time when there is trouble. Kabirji used to say that दुख में सुमिरन सब करे. Okay, जो सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे को होए, which means that in times of trouble we always remember what we were grateful for, but when it is there we never are grateful for those things. So today is a great time to talk about that, and the reason why uh, I asked Dr. Hari to have my daughter also involved in this discussion is because past about 10 or 15 days we have been having various discussions about how the nation is showing its gratitude to its doctors. So we had a public exercise where the Prime Minister invited us all to come out and wish well for our frontline health workers, for our doctors, and for all the people who are taking care of our health and in this crisis who are helping us with the disaster management. So in this situation, there were also a couple of incidents where the opposite also happened, which is doctors who were trying to help, frontline workers were beaten up. India had to pass a law that said that doctors cannot the kind of punishment that will be given if doctors are not shown gratitude. So when there is a legal channel required for people to show gratitude, okay, it's a good time for the world to remember how to practice it. So generally, I do not come on shows, and I do not like to be in a situation where I'm preaching. But I thought it's a good idea to be able to talk about what's happening and how gratitude can be practiced. Okay, uh, as a uh, as a second year student of medicine, my daughter had a few experiences of how this crisis is going to be, because she is based about 2 kilometers away from Dharavi. Her medical college is Sion Medical College, which is exactly 2 kilometers away from Dharavi, which is one of the largest slums in Asia and also one of the most affected by the COVID crisis. It has been declared a containment zone, and there are a lot of tests going on there. Her college is only 2 kilometers away from that place. So she had to change her room, etc. I will let her speak about it so that we can take the discussion forward. Anamika, you want to describe your experience?
Anamika, I want to ask one question to you. You are a
Yes,
medical
yes.
student, and how is the life in Mumbai nowadays, and how the gratitude exercises or practices taught by your dad is helping you at this moment? And you are a wonderful motivator. I think I heard from dad that you also motivate, you conduct many programs to the students. How this gratitude practice is helping you in the present COVID crisis, and also mention how you could get medical seat with least effort, with smart work by using this gratitude exercises. And um, third one, your suggestion to the especially the present people, those who are violating the laws during the lockdown, who are ungrateful during this lockdown period, and they don't have any gratitude for the frontline fighters who are fighting for our sake.
So
Yes, ma.
I'm a student. I am a second year medical student in
Wonderful.
Lokmanya Tilak Medical College in Sai, Mumbai, like my father said. And so right now I am not in Mumbai. I am safe at home. I have been given holidays from my college, so I'm not in Mumbai. But I can empathize with people that are still over there, and my seniors and my teachers, my professors who are still over there and fighting very bravely, even in this time of crisis. So, as a medical student, I'm very empathetic towards them, and I know the sort of sacrifices that they're making. They're away from their families, and they're putting their own lives at risk and sacrificing so much for all of us. So I think we all need to really be grateful towards the frontline workers and appreciate everything that they're doing, putting their own lives at risk for us. So I think the only way that we can show our gratitude towards them is by staying at home, staying safe, not going outside. And with this lockdown, the third installment of the lockdown that has now been announced, I think all of us are a little frustrated with it. But in this time of crisis, the only thing that we can do is be grateful for the ability to be at home. And because if we were to go outside, we know the situation that there is. So the only way to survive this is to be grateful for the chance of uh, life that we're given. So yeah, I am like everybody else, being a medical student. I am not doing anything in this time of crisis. I am at home. I am safe.
How this gratitude practices taught by dad helped you to in acquiring the medical seat or living your life in a magnanimous way? Because gratitude is a great attitude. What we call in Sanskrit, krutagnata means kruta means whatever happened. Swayam krutaparadha. Kruta means whatever happened. If you have a great attitude towards whatever happened to you, if you have magnanimity or respect for the what is already you have, then you can attract what you want to be. Most of the time we always wonder about what we want, but we won't respect what we have. Gratitude is a wonderful attitude wherein we acknowledge what we have. For example, the body. our thoughts, our day-to-day living, and we won't bother about the significance of the body until we get injured. So in the same way, until we feel the loss, we won't recognize the importance of what we have. So describe about the practice which helped you in acquiring the medical seat or your success, what I can say in father's view or in the society view. So how it helped, and you can describe.
So the path to becoming a doctor is not an easy one. It's a long one and a difficult one. Even throughout your NEET preparations in your 11th and 12th and in your MBBS, a lot of hard work is required. And so I believe that the best way that you can be happy throughout all these difficulties is to be grateful that you have this wonderful opportunity of being in this profession, of being able to help others, of being of service to others. Because throughout your MBBS, throughout your NEET preparation, there's so many obstacles that you have to face, and the only way that you can face these is through resilience, is through perseverance, and through gratitude. And every time you face a difficulty, you, like my father taught me, I think to myself, this too shall pass, and be grateful for this opportunity to overcome whatever difficulty it is, and to overcome whatever that is. And you always remember that these difficulties too shall pass. Everything will pass, and you will reach your goal one day or the other. So that is very important. I think my father will tell us about some more practices.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So one of the practices that
Yes,
I
Prashant.
recommend, yes. So one of the practices that I recommend in my book also is a practice called the practice of mental subtraction. What it means is that when you mentally subtract something from your mind, okay, then you start to appreciate its value. Okay, a lot of people regret when their parents pass away, or when something happens in their life, where they lose their job, etc. Now, a lot of people who have lost their jobs, who are not able to travel, and our biggest sacrifice at this moment, we have lost our freedom to be able to go out on the streets, to be able to eat at different places, etc., is gone. And the lack of something can always make us recognize the value of. So when something is lacking, human beings are able to appreciate it more. I don't know why that law is there, but that's the law, that we appreciate something more when there's lack of it. Like a lot of alcoholics right now, the lack of alcohol is making them very grateful that they had this opportunity at that time to be able to drink. Or for people who value their freedom, who want to travel, okay, now when they're confined, they're able to see and they're able to appreciate the value of that. But had we asked them when they were traveling, okay, when they had that freedom, it's very difficult for us to have that practice of gratitude. Okay, so the lack of something can make us grateful also. So right now, a lot of people are practicing gratitude unknowingly, because now they're appreciating all the good things. So one of the things that has come out of this coronavirus is that we will start appreciating more and more what we had. People will become grateful, because gratitude comes to us in challenges. When we have challenges in our lives, they teach us gratitude. They teach us how to be grateful for something. So one of the practices that I'm going to talk about today is the practice of mental subtraction, which means, suppose you decide saying, today I have zero money, okay, or I'm bankrupt, I have no money in my bank, okay, how would I live? And that can give you the ability to appreciate even the smallest amount of money that you have in your bank. Okay, the ability to look at other things. Gratitude gives us the perspective to be able to look at other things in our lives also. For example, right now they decided that jaan hai to jahan hai, which means we sacrificed our economy for looking at our health. Okay, which means at this moment in time, the world, even the biggest economic state like US, has decided that life, the availability of it, is more important than livelihood, or being able to make money, generate economic value, etc. So gratitude makes us shift our perspective. And our problems and challenges that we have in life are exactly the ones that will teach us how to be grateful. Okay. Like, for example, this coronavirus crisis, it has taught people to be grateful to their mates. It has taught us to be grateful for our lives. It has sorry, a little bit of connection. So, also when we talk about lack of things, okay, lack of things can also make us appreciate something that's lower than that, which means I may have lack of money right now, I may have a lack of a job, I may have lack of my ability to travel, but am I safe? Am I alive? Just the fact that we are alive is something to be grateful for. Okay. And that is the lesson in this coronavirus crisis. It has given us.
Prashantji, what makes the people not to have this gratitude? Why do people lack gratitude? What is the basic reason?
The modern world, yes, the modern world is a technologically very advanced world. We are enjoying things in the past 15, 20 years that the world has never seen. The ability to get our food on demand, the ability to learn something on demand, the ability to be able to get all our groceries at home, to be able to get on demand cars, etc. These are all things that technology has bought. And as we advance more and more, okay, the more and more we get used to things and comforts. So when the comfort is taken away, okay, then only we recognize the value of gratitude. Okay. So what happens is the lack of something is making us appreciate its value. But had we appreciated the value when it was there, we wouldn't be in such a situation. Had we been more careful before, we would not be in such a precarious solution that we are in right now. Adaptation is a feature of the brain, which means the brain adapts to whatever you have. How much ever money you have, how much ever freedom you have, how much ever resources you have, the brain adapts to it. People who have their hands and legs cut off also, after a few days, they get back to the stage of coming back to accepting it, right? So, see, first we were very worried whether we could live for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days in lockdown. Today we went 7 days, then we went 21 days, then we went 40 days, and now there's even a third installment of the lockdown. So most of these things are things of adaptation of the mind. So we get used to our comforts, we get used to our problems, we get used to our things that we enjoy. So it's a natural phenomena of the mind to be able to adjust with whatever we have. Today, if people don't have pizzas being delivered or whatever, they're happy to make things at home and adjust to it. Eventually, we all come to us. And grief goes through own cycles. Grief has to go through denial, which means the first reaction that we'll have to it is saying, oh my God, this is not happening to me. Okay. This, it cannot happen that the entire world stops for 60 days. Denial is the first reaction that we have. Second comes is anger. Like we had so much anger at Wuhan, at the Chinese, at how our government was handling this, etc., etc. Anger is the second reaction that comes. The third reaction that comes is sadness. Sadness as in, why us? Why did this happen to us? And, why we should all suffer, etc., etc. Sadness can sometimes also lead to depression. Okay. Not just economically, but also a lot of things that are happening now. People not having friends, people not being able to go out can lead to a lot of depression because sadness can jump into that. So after denial, anger, sadness comes bargaining. We start bargaining, saying, oh, it's only 7 more days. Oh, it's only 15 more days. After that, it will go away. Life will be back to normal, etc. We start bargaining with life. Like when death happens also, we start bargaining, saying, Okay, if not this person, another person, we focus our love and acceptance on other things. And post bargaining comes acceptance, which means we accept things as they are and we make peace with it. And this is the normal grief cycle that happens throughout, from denial to anger to sadness to bargaining. And the last step that comes generally is acceptance. And when you go into deep acceptance, that is gratitude. Another name for deep acceptance is gratitude. Because when you deeply accept something, you're grateful for it. You're grateful for what you had. You're grateful for what is. And that is the lesson in this, to be able to be grateful at what we have. And we will go through these cycles. We will go through this cycle for the next few months, where we cycle through denial, anger, sadness, acceptance, bargaining, acceptance, and then deep acceptance. And this is a cycle that all of us have to go through when we are grieving. And we are grieving. We are grieving the loss of our livelihoods. We are grieving the loss of our freedom. We are grieving the loss of our ability to go out, touch each other, and be able to express our love and appreciation.
Yeah,
Because this is what
Prashantji, well said.
focus the future and our planning.
Well said, Prashant. So usually people have a misunderstanding. If you accept, your growth will be stagnant. You can't grow. So,
Yes,
but you say that deep acceptance is a gratitude.
yes, yes.
When
Very
we accept that, for example, a person born in poverty, if he accepts the poverty, how he achieves whatever he wants in his life. So there should not be, see, there should be some difference should be there, and they should not accept the present existing scenario. Otherwise revolution won't come, change won't
correct.
come. This is the normal phenomenon. So during
Yes,
this COVID period, people accepts the disease, especially whatever the deaths are happening. How can it help? See, if
yes,
you accept, the death rate will increase. This is the normal thinking of the person. And of course, people, some positive thinkers or some lateral thinkers, they are thinking that COVID is helping us to grow internally and have balance within. But it appears as if it is nothing but adjusting yourself and
exactly.
thinking in a positive way. But actually, what it does, if more deaths are happening, the people, those who are religious people, they think that, oh, God is take or nature is taking the revenge. God is
Yes,
punishing the people, the bad people. This is the way how
correct.
the people interpret. But how
Yes,
this gratitude, especially in this period, will improve the immunity. We all know good sleep will improve the immunity, and the balanced diet, which is rich in vitamin C, zinc, selenium, vitamin D, and all the protein food will definitely will improve and amplify the immunity. How this
yes,
concept of gratitude, the gratitude consciousness will improve the immunity. Yes.
yes.
Before that, I want to know from Anamika. Anamika, anything you want to add to your dad?
I just wanted to ask him, is gratitude something that you have inculcated, like acquired through this cycle of grief, or is it something that we're all born with? Like,
Exactly.
yeah, do we lack the ability to be grateful without feeling the absence of something? Will only absence make us feel grateful?
So wonderful. Both the questions are very tough questions and very, very genuine questions. And I'm so happy to be able to answer those to what I know best. Okay. So there's a difference between false positivity, okay, and hope. We all live on hope. We all like to acknowledge the silver lining in black clouds. Okay. There is always a scope for positivity. But will positivity solve our problems? If I'm positive, will I stop solving my problems? We are so used as humankind to be able to look at what is wrong and how to correct it. Okay, what is lacking and how to improve it. Okay, because the humankind is is focused on looking at what is wrong and improving it. Okay, that's our very nature. That's why we have so much technological comforts and everything, because we are born with that ability to look at what is wrong and how to improve it, whether it's our relationship, whether it's our health, whether it's our career, whether it's our problems, whether as a society and culture, what are the things that we are facing. This is our normal nature. If we accept something, then chances are that we will not improve it. Of course, that's very normal. You will grow stagnant, you will become lazy, you will accept things as they are and not do anything to improve them. So gratitude is the one which teaches you how to look at positive things, how to look at and accept things that are there, and how to improve them joyfully. Improvement is of two types. One is unhealthy improvement, which is when we say, oh, this is so wrong, oh, this is so wrong, I have to correct it, I have to correct it. Right now, there is a race to find a vaccine. Right now, there is a race to find out what is the best cure for it. From every possible way, every possible country, all the scientists, everybody is looking at what are the possible ways in which we can improve this. Okay. When we are looking at all those things of improvement only, but we are not joyful about it, which means if we are cursing and crimping and complaining all the time, if we are saying, oh my God, this damn virus, oh, I am cursing this because of this, I am at home, oh, these Chinese, oh, all of this, do you think we can joyously improve something? We cannot improve something from a state of fear, from a state of panic, from a state of negativity. Hope and positivity are essential for us to go on the right path, to be able to find the correct solution. Because from negativity and criticism, okay, a child is not corrected by criticism, by negativity, by finding faults. Corrected with love, then that is joyful improvement. So gratitude is about joyful improvement, not about stagnancy, not about accepting things as they are. If we accept the debts as they are, we'll just sit at home and not do anything about it, right? Which is actually what is happening. If we sit at home and do not give the positivity and the gratitude required to the scientists to be able to work harder, to be able to put their best foot forward, okay? If we are cursing and cribbing, we are including them also because our mindset is one of negativity. Okay. So acceptance is not about accepting status quo. Acceptance is about having the centeredness, the stillness to be able to come with the right answer. If we are not still, if we are agitated, if we are in fear and panic, then our reaction will be exaggerated. Right now, there is a lot of fear which makes a lot of apartment societies, a lot of cultures, a lot of prime ministers and presidents operate from a place of fear and panic. Fear and panic does not give a right solution. Right solutions come when we come from a place of love and acceptance that this is there. Now, what to do about it? How can we improve this joyfully? The keyword, operative word is joyful. When we are not joyful, we cannot improve anything. From negativity and cursing and cribbing, we do not improve anything. Like right now, complaining is a very big problem that's happening right now. Complaining about the government, complaining about the lack of facilities, complaining about the lack of things, etc. So I have a very nice practice that I call complaint-free week. Okay, so I would like to show you. Can you find me the complaint plan? So this complaint-free attitude, how to develop it, is very simple. Can I go for 7 days without complaining in my life? The amount of answers that we will get when we are not complaining, okay, is amazing. Okay, so I, for example, in my life, I have tried this very nice exercise called the complaint-free week. This is a band. Okay, I wear it in one of my hands. Okay, so whenever I complain during a day, I change it from this hand to this hand. If I complain 20 times, I change it 20 times. Okay. So the idea is to go for 1 week without changing the band from one hand to another, which means I should not complain for 1 week. And when I develop that attitude of non-complaining, then I also look at what are the positive ways to correct it. Okay. Connection has to come before correction. So for connection to happen, we should be in a positive state of mind. If we accept the deaths as they are happening, then obviously there will be no improvement. But we are cursing and cribbing against the government, against the doctors. Yes, they are not doing it fast. They are not finding a cure fast. Nobody is able to do it. Will they be in the right frame of mind to be able to work and function? That is the question we have to ask ourselves. And when we are like that in our life also, if we are not in a positive state of mind, we cannot improve. What is your experience on this, Anamika? Have you been
Sorry?
when you're not in a correct state of mind, when you're cursing, cribbing, or in a state that is not joyful?
Can you repeat?
When you're not in a state of joy, is it possible for us to improve from a state of only complaining and cursing and cribbing?
No, definitely not. And I think you've always taught me that whatever you do needs to come from a place of love and acceptance and not from a place of fear, anger, or complaining. And I believe there are a lot of things that we need to look around us from a perspective of abundance and from a perspective of what all we do have. Even when we are in lockdown, even when we can't go outside, there are a lot of things that we can do which we would not have got the ability or the opportunity to do if this would not have happened. And we need to look at that also. We're spending time with our families, we are all learning new skills, and there's so much that we're also doing. Although there are things that are lacking, and these are obviously difficult times for all of us, there's also that a lot of things that we have to be grateful for and that we're learning. So, yeah.
Yeah, wonderfully said. Wonderfully said. Yeah, during complaining, the word complain, that means everything appears very, very plain. See, even though the life is very colorful, even though there are so many doors are opening, when you feel that one door is locked, one door is closed, if you focus on other side, there are so many doors. But during complaining, life appears very plain. It appears very monotonous. So when there is a monotony, you will always in a locked up position. So you won't see the life in other directions, in other angles. So better to it is your choice whether to choose complain or always go with whatever is happening in your life with a flow, so that the doors will open, because life is a continuum, it is not stagnant. Most of the time we say I got failure, or otherwise we say we lost or everything gone, but it is not so. Life always, every step, as long as we are breathing, the purpose on the life is existing. This is what Don Yuan says. So always think that yes, there is a purpose for you. There is always whatever is coming to you, just step back so that you can look the things very clearly. For example, most of the time we see the problem as a problem, but it is actually a challenge. For example, just see this hand. This hand is far away from me. Now I can look at it. If it comes very close to my eyes, very near to my eyes or onto my eyes, I can't perceive with clarity. You have to have a gap. The gratitude provides a gap from where, or from a view. So from a view, you can perceive the thing in a holistic way, in a positive way, in an evolutionary way, in a more appreciable way. That's why every person should have gratitude. You beautifully said this changing of the band. In the same way, what are all the I want to show the gratitude lotus, especially the exercise. During this period I used to do it, but I think my video is not working. Is it working?
I can't see your video either.
Yeah, the video is not working. Otherwise I would have shown the gratitude lotus and some other exercises. Okay, you show more of these exercises or simple tips, so that we can inculcate the gratitude in our life. Anamika beautifully said, is it inborn, or is it genetic, but or it is a inculcated technique or learned experience?
Definitely. Like intelligence, no? A lot of people say that intelligence is either inborn, it's genetic, okay, or that it's God given. It's there in your genes, and some people have it. Some people are intelligent, some people are not intelligent, and some people have a higher IQ, and some people have a lower IQ. Okay, but I have seen people who are intelligent or not intelligent being very successful at what they do, enjoying life to the fullest, immaterial of what is the faculty given to them. Okay, so the ability to enjoy life, to be able to find meaning and purpose in it, to be able to focus and find what we are looking for, okay, is an ability that's inborn in us. It's not dependent on certain God-given gifts or whatever. I know certain people who are very positive, who are, it's like God gave them attitude only of positivity. They do not know how to not smile. They do not know how to be angry, etc. It's genetic in their build-up, right? And also there are people that I know who are constantly cursing and complaining and always sad and angry and have never been grateful for anything. Even if they get the best of the things, they'll still have something or the other that they do not like about it. So it's not a genetic thing that gratitude is given to us. Okay, gratitude is developed in us because of insights that we get on life. How do we get these insights? Okay, when we were a child, we are sometimes taught gratitude as a moral construct, which means our mother will say, oh, uncle gave you a chocolate, you should say thank you. So we are taught of it as a polite social way in which to interact with each other. Okay, but sometimes we are very thankful when our mother suddenly comes when we are a child, and then the glow that comes within, saying, oh my God, she's there. Okay, that is a natural born ability that we have. We are all capable of appreciating all the good luck that we get. When we get good luck, we are all very happy. We are all very pleasurable. We are like, oh my God, this thing came to me. Okay, but we do not like it when something that we do not like happens. Okay, when we do not like something, then we don't know how to be grateful for it. How to be grateful for something that we like? When something like ice cream gives us pleasure, okay, when we get it, we'll be very grateful, we'll be very thankful. You get your favorite pizza, you'll be very thankful, right? The point is when you get a vegetable that you do not like, okay, when somebody makes a food for you that you do not like, can you be grateful for it? Because it's food. At the end of the day, it's giving you energy. Okay, so the point is how to be grateful is also an ability. It's a quality and it's also a skill, which means it's a skill that human beings have to develop also. It's there naturally in us, like love is there naturally in us, but we have to learn to express it. Okay, gratitude is there in us naturally. We have to learn how to express it more. We have to learn how to communicate it better. Okay. See, right now, our parents are, we are told old people and all that to stay away from them. We are not able to meet our grandfather, grandmother. We are not able to, hug our parents also. We are not able to touch our kids also. Close friends who are able to do something. We are not able to express gratitude also because there is social distancing to be maintained. Now, life is challenging us. How will we appreciate and acknowledge somebody? Right? So, all of these skills are skill to be developed also. It's a quality to practice. When you practice something, you become perfect at it. So a part of it is something that is given to us. It's a natural ability that's there in our body to be able to recognize it. And it's a skill to be developed. It's a practice to be done. It's a quality to be on which we should show light such that it becomes bigger and bigger. Because what we focus on will expand. If we focus on positivity, if we focus on gratitude, then that will expand. If we focus on negativity, that will expand also. Because whatever we focus on becomes bigger and bigger in our mind, in our life. It's a skill that has to be practiced daily. And one of the ways in which life is teaching us right now to practice this skill is because we are living a minimalistic life. Okay, we are inside our houses. So many things that we used to take for granted are not there now. So it's automatically teaching us, saying that this is the way in which you have to appreciate what is there. So I am very confident that the moment we step out now, people will be more grateful for what they had. They will appreciate everything that they used to get. Okay. So challenges, I am not inviting them so that people learn gratitude. But challenges are a way in which naturally our brain will learn how to have a more positive mindset. How to look at all the perspectives that are there. Gratitude, the best thing about gratitude is it teaches us what's the other perspectives that are there. When we look at other things also and appreciate them, when we say, okay, here's another view. If I don't have this, then I have at least this part. Okay. If I don't have clothes, okay, at least I have life. I'm able to breathe. I'm surviving still. Right. So it makes us change the target that we set for ourselves, the boundaries that we set for ourselves, saying this is the boundary at which I accept everything. Otherwise, our life is full of rejection, rejecting what life gives us fully also. So the expansion of that boundary of love and our wisdom happens when we question the very basis on which we enjoy things. Is pleasure the only way we'll be grateful? Can we be grateful for sadness? Can we be grateful for challenges? And that is a lifelong struggle that we have. Even I go through that struggle every day when I have to decide whether how I am going to look at a certain situation or a certain position. And that boundary has to be challenged. What has been your experience, Anamika, in terms of challenging these boundaries every day, where you constantly go through a mood change because life situations aren't exactly to the way you would want them to be?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anamika,
feel
you
that-
please continue.
sorry.
Anamika, you continue the questions because here the network is a little bit problem. Okay, you can continue. Shoot the questions to Dad.
Yes, yes. As I was saying, I feel like another shift of perspective that we should all have, especially during these difficult times, is to is that what we focus on expands, and I think that's one of the big things that I also personally need to work on. Is that if you choose to look at the things that are lacking, or the things that are going wrong in your life, or all the things that could have been better, then those things will expand. Then you are forced to only look at these things. It's very difficult to look at the other aspect of it. So it's very important that we focus on things, positive things that we do have, things that we can improve, and not to try to change to things that we can't change. So that is very important. Another practice that I think we all need to include in our lives is to that what we focus on expands. So let's just focus on the good things, especially right now.
Yes, definitely. So abundance, a lot of people ask me saying, what is abundance? And, when I wish for more, when I want a pizza right now. I want to be able to travel on the streets. I want to be able to drive my bike. I want to be able to go out and celebrate. I want to be able to meet my friends, etc. And I'm perceiving the lack of it. I'm feeling sad that I cannot do all these things. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm not able to get the things that I want. And how in that perspective can I still believe that I have an abundant life? Because I don't see abundance. I see that I cannot get my favorite vegetables. I cannot go to my favorite person. I cannot go to my favorite place. So how is it that I can see abundance in this? And this is a critical ability because we look at abundance as the availability of something. Okay. If something is there, if I have a great bank balance, then I'm happy. If I have lots of food in my refrigerator, if I can get what I want, then I'm happy. So when we tie to something, saying X happens, then only I find it abundance. Then only I think there is value in what I'm doing. Okay. Then what happens is we lose the perspective to be able to enjoy what we do have also. Okay. And contentment is about looking at what we do have and finding that as enough, because it's a natural ability, like Dr. Hari was talking about. It's a natural ability to look at something and say, how do I improve this? How do I make this better? How do I make sure that there's less amount of death, etc.? Okay. And when you look at that perspective only, it takes away the fact that there are lots of people that are alive also. There are lots of people that have escaped also. There are lots of people that are better off than they were. Okay. And that's also a lesson in terms of what you can do to avoid those things. Okay. Because when you do things that will get you in trouble, then stupidity and ignorance will expand. Because then we are not being intelligent about what should be done. Okay. And sometimes these lessons are important as a culture, as a country, as a nation, even as a human consciousness. We need to be aware of the things that we should not cut the boundaries of. So today everybody is talking about, how less polluted it is, how the atmosphere, how Earth is healing, etc., etc. The point is, we recognize it right now because a lot more people will become environmentally conscious. Will make sure that they use less amount of petrol. Will make sure that they take shared services. Will make sure that they take care of the amount of consumerism and capitalism that we have. And these are choices that we make. These are choices that we make when we learn to walk into abundance. Abundance is not an ability. Well, there's a lot of things that are waiting there, and you walk into it. Abundance is where you see what is there and say, "Oh my God, this is enough. Who I am is enough right now," without wanting to improve myself further and further and trying to make things better and better always, because that's naturally there in the brain. It'll happen automatically. The point is, instead of focusing on what's wrong and improvable, if we can focus on what's right and appreciable also, then it becomes better. And this pause, this forced pause that has happened in our lives, has made us appreciate a lot of things that we generally weren't capable of, right? So pauses are very important. Now, this lockdown will be over. Eventually, we'll go on with our lives. Will we practice the pause again? Okay. Like one of the practices that I do is called a minute of gratitude, where I stop whatever I'm doing and for 1 minute focus on what I'm grateful for. I call it OMG, which is 1 minute of gratefulness. OMG. And that gives me the ability to sometimes, because you're so engulfed by what is wrong, because your brain naturally looks at it. Your brain looks at lack, what is wrong, what is critical. Automatically, it goes into that. So when you practice a pause, when you take a pause for a few moments and look at what are there, a lot of people are finding meaning and purpose in their life because suddenly they got a pause. Maybe the job that I was doing was useless. Maybe the work that I was doing was immaterial. A lot of people are, one of the biggest, funniest insights that I had was one major IT company declaring that 75% of their staff will work from home. And a lot of them were not required also. That means all of these decisions about what we are doing are all because we did not sit down, relax, and pause and think whether there's meaning and purpose in what we are doing. Sometimes we are so caught up in that piece. And this ability to be able to sit at 60 days and think and have time to ourselves and only the ones that we love is an amazing ability. I am very grateful for the coronavirus. A lot of people are not very grateful because they think I am being thankful to something that is killing people. But when you look at a bigger perspective, because life has plans that are beyond us, the dinosaurs also went away, the human beings also will go away, and life will move on in its own perspective and consciousness will shift. And as it expands, the decisions that are useful for the evolution of life will happen. And if this teaches us not to be so consumeristic, not to be so capitalistic, not to just be so selfish and think about ourselves only and not everything that's around us, then that's a great thing that has happened to us.
Yeah, true. Another thing, how all these days have just merged and we don't know what day it is and like what's the time or what's the date, and also like you talked about this OMG. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you practice gratitude every day in the morning and think about all the things that you're grateful for while you're in bed. So, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So one of the practices that I teach at all of my workshops, seminars, and whenever there's an interaction with me is something that I call meditation. A lot of people have trouble with meditation. Okay. So this is called meditation. Meditation means something that you do on the bed itself. No need to get off the bed. No need to sit in a certain posture and do things. This simple exercise that is done when your body is just waking up. When your mind wakes up, but you have to give permission to your body to get out of the bed. This is the moment at which, after a long night, your brain wakes up and is deciding to plan what to do for the next day. Okay. And it tells the body whether you will wait and sleep for another 5 minutes, you will give it permission to be in bed for 5 minutes, or you will get off the bed and do something for the day. Okay. Or you will have to go to the bathroom or whatever because your body demands that. Okay. And this is the time when I take a pause for 30 minutes or 30 seconds or 1 minute, and I count the things that I'm grateful for. Okay, maybe 10 things. Like Dr. Hari was talking about, it's one of the practices that I teach through one of my teachers who teaches it, called Nitya Shanti. He calls it the gratitude, the lotus of gratitude. You can do it on bed also. Just put all your fingers together, okay, and count what you're grateful for. I'm grateful to my mother for all the things that she has done. I'm grateful that yesterday I got this great food. I'm grateful for this thing. And just count it in your head. You don't have to say it out loud. It can just be a mental conversation that you have. And it puts your mind in the reverse gear. Instead of planning and scheduling and doing all the things that it does, it gets you into a frame of mind of appreciation of what you have already in your life. I'm grateful that I woke up. I'm grateful that I'm still alive. I'm grateful I have a bed to sleep on. Whatever it is that comes to you, this is gratitude meditation. It hardly takes a minute or two, and you can practice it for whatever this lockdown day is. And if it gives you value, and if it gives you a lot of success with it, then it's something that can change your attitude also. And this is a practice that I recommend to everybody to be able to do. Meditation is a practice. The lotus of gratitude of counting on your 10 fingers is something. And if you have trouble, just do meditation, which is 3 things count, only 3 things that you're grateful for. And that will change your perspective. That will change your, that will rewire your mental neural pathways into looking at things with a positive mindset.
And these things don't have to be something big. They can be small things, like I'm grateful for my pillow. It's a soft, nice pillow, and I'm grateful for it. So it's not very difficult, but it puts you in a different frame of mind every day.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Also, I wanted to talk about something about how to handle ingrateful people or ingratitude. The idea that we have of most of these things is that we expect other people to be grateful. It's a natural thing. Okay. We say saying that other people should be grateful to us. For example, the public should be grateful to us because, we are giving them service. We are taking care of their health. We are taking care of their, well-being, etc. So how come when something goes wrong, somebody comes to beat us up? And we've had a lot of conversations on this, Anamika. So you want to share what's your perspective on that?
My perspective is that at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it. And I see doctors, and I don't think they really have expectations from their patients. I don't think they're even allowed to do that, to have expectations from people to be grateful. It is their job, and they do their job, and it is my job, so I will do my job. But yes, I feel like if we could spread this message of gratitude, and overall, if we as humans could see the things that others are doing for us, then I think it would benefit us all.
Yeah, definitely. See, so the thought that I have on this is, one is the expectation that we have, which is very different from gratitude. It's called indebtedness, which means if I do something, I expect other people to reciprocate. It's our concept in our head of reciprocation, which means if I'm nice to somebody, if I've done something good for them, they should also do something good for me. This idea of reciprocation, okay, is born out of a lot of things. Sometimes it's born out of a sense of duty, sometimes out of a sense of morality, sometimes just out of a sense of exchange. I give something, I should get something back. Okay. And all of these ideas that lead us to saying that, this is the expectation I have, and I'll be happy only when I get that. Or I will do this more and more, only when I get appreciation for that. Which means if I do something good and I don't get appreciation for it, I don't want to do it again because now I'm not getting the reward. This reward-based mechanism that we put to ourselves, saying that I should be rewarded if I do good karma. Okay. In the Vedas, etc., in the Mahabharata, etc., they say karam kar phal ki chinta mat kar. Okay. Which essentially means that they are saying that whatever you're doing, you do it because you want to do it. Okay. Not because the world wants it or you want a reward from it. That is called a job, what we do. When we do a job, it's not a calling. It's not something that comes from our heart. And sometimes we as human beings are capable of doing these things because we do them from ideas of morality, out of what is right and wrong, of duty, of obligation, of reciprocation. Now, whenever it comes out of these ideas, okay, these are ideas that are constructed in our mind because we have decided this is the way it should be. Okay. And whenever we do them from this duty, obligation, morality, or whatever, then we are not listening to what is the true inner sense that we have. What is our heart calling out? Okay. What is it that it's saying we should do? Okay. When it's not based on expectation of a result, or when it's not based on a mental conditioning of duty, obligation, morality, etc., then it comes very naturally. There is no expectation in our heart that somebody should do certain way or not do in a certain way. If they do, if they're thankful, good, I'm happy. If they're not, also, I did it because I wanted to do it because it came from my heart and not because I expected somebody to reciprocate for it. Okay. Now, if you as Anamika do not say thank you to me ever, also, I'm happy about it because I did it because I love you and not because you were born or there is a certain relationship between us or something. If it comes to me naturally, and all my life I always waited for things to come naturally from me. If it doesn't come and you do it under these ideas and mental conditioning and constructs, okay, then eventually it doesn't serve us right because we haven't found the right answer to it in our heart. And when I see so many of my doctors, my best friend Swarna right now in Guntur is doing she's taking care of all the COVID testing and all in Guntur as a medical doctor who studied with me long ago. She's taking care of all of that. And she's not doing it because it's her morality or her obligation or her job requires it. It's something that she is doing because she feels that that's the correct thing to do. That's how she should help people. That's how, whether in that she makes a sacrifice or doesn't make a sacrifice or gets some result or not, is not a reward for which she's working. If somebody throws flower petals on me because I did a great job, okay, then that is not gratitude. That is indebtedness, where we are doing an exchange, bartering, reciprocation. You do something for me, I do something for you. You give me my fees, I will correct your disease. Right? So these ideas of doing something from indebtedness, it's very important to recognize what is the expectation of indebtedness versus what is the expectation of gratitude. Gratitude does not expect a reciprocation. It is an altruistic thing that comes out of our heart because it wants to. We clap sometimes when we hear a great singer or a great performance or a great musical or whatever. Sometimes we are brought to tears because we see a great movie. Like right now, yesterday, when two great actors passed away, there was an outpouring of love from everybody. It came naturally. It came naturally because there was nothing. They didn't ask for it saying you should appreciate me. In fact, when they were alive, they might have gotten less appreciation and less love. But when they're gone, the outpouring is natural. What is natural is what is gratitude. Okay, you can develop it also because human beings learn to need how to express ourselves. We are limited by language. We are limited by actions. We are limited by behavior. People cannot see inside our heart. They cannot see inside our brain. And to be able to communicate that is an art and a science that needs to be learned a little bit. Like we learn how to use language properly. Some people use language very excellently. Some people cannot use language very excellently. Okay. But that limitation that we have in terms of our expression, that is what we need to recognize. Now, for those who are not grateful, how to handle them? How to handle the fact that that somebody should have done something and they should have been nice to me. They should not have beaten me up or whatever. And how to handle that? Okay, is it possible to forgive them? Will it come naturally to me that I should let go of that? No, of course not. If I'm being bodily harmed, if I'm being subjected to something that takes away my dignity, when I have taken a Hippocratic oath to be able to save people, but the other person has not. He's just in love with his relative or friend or whoever died, and he's ready to beat me up. Now, what is the way in which to handle that? Okay, is obviously one of the things that happens is we have a legislation now. We have a clear-cut guideline by which somebody is not supposed to do that, etc. But for oneself, what one can look at is whether they have that expectation from others or not. And most of my friends who are doctors already do not have that expectation that somebody should be grateful to them. All they want is that somebody should not be stupid and in the rage. Like road rage, grief also gives rage. when you're on a road and you're speeding, etc., you get this roads. You get the impulses which are momentary impulses that come to you because at that moment to find something to blame on, to find something to which to shift the focus on is required because death is not in our control, and what is not in our control we will always have to find ways to put it uh, on something such that we can make sense of it. Not being able to make sense of death, not being able to make sense of uncertainty is our problem, and that is a problem that won't go away. Even when we are grateful for what we have, handling uncertainty and chaos will come naturally to us. We will say, okay, in this situation, what can I do? And then it comes naturally to us that one is not to have expectations, and second is to understand also that maybe it's momentary, maybe it's rage, maybe it's not knowing how to handle grief, maybe it's not knowing how to handle death, and you have to take it in that perspective. And of course, you have to take all safeguards. As doctors, everybody goes and you treat disease. There's chances of you also acquiring it. So these are the things that we have to learn. I can hear you, Hari, now.
Yeah, wonderful, Prashant. Now I got power connection. Okay, so how this gratitude will help in having a persistent health or good health condition? The person is suffering from an ill health, especially the chronic health problems. We all know the chronic health problems like immunosuppressive conditions, chronic kidney dialysis patients, and congestive heart failures. These people are very susceptible to the COVID severe infections. So, how can we have control on all our ill health or health issues with gratitude exercise? Tell me the method how we should have an attitude for having a positive health, and also some exercises, some practices which can helps us to have a good health.
Definitely. So, one of the ways in which gratitude helps us with great health or physical well-being is that gratitude actually improves our immunity. It's a proven scientific fact on which many papers have been written on how gratitude gives us the resilience towards life's problems. Even if you think of it by yourself, you will realize that the more the number of challenges that you have faced, the more resilient you become. Okay. So first, we got a call saying 1 day of lockdown only. Then it became 7 days. Then it became 14 days. Then it became more and more, and it's been extending. So after a while, we got the resilience to be able to be at home, to be calm, to be centered, to accept what is there, to live a minimalistic life, etc. Which means it's an ability that we have developed internally to accept things and to move with that change, right? So this resilience that if we practice gratitude throughout our life, it gives us the positivity to be able to handle events like this. Okay. Now, what is the number one cure the doctors are telling? They are telling that if your immune system is good, then you will be able to face this and come out of this. So it's an ability that we should develop before. Gratitude is an ability that you develop before. Like you exercise, like you do running, walking, jogging, like you do meditation for your brain, yoga for different things, etc. Gratitude is also an ability for your mind and your state of being that you should develop such that you can face such crisis. Immunity cannot be built up in 1-2 days by eating a lot of magnesium and zinc and vitamin C, etc. Okay, had you done that throughout your life, you would have been better faced to do it. But it's better, late than never. Today, if you start practicing, also, it can give you great yield and great dividends in terms of where you're going with your life. It will give you the immunity to be. That's why I've been practicing it all my life. I've written a book about it, and there are 42 practices inside this that are there that we have done. We have discussed meditation, which is when you wake up in the morning, how to do. We have discussed lotus of gratitude, which is to count 10 things that you're grateful for. We have discussed OMG, which is 1 minute of gratefulness, such that you can take pauses in between and be grateful for whatever is happening in your life. We have discussed mental subtraction, which is remove something and think about it in your mind such that you can get used to it, such that you can be grateful for what you have also. Okay, because sometimes the lack only makes us recognize the gratitude. Okay, we've also discussed various practices like uh, we can also do various practices like writing down a list of things that we are grateful for. One of the things that I've been recommending to a lot of friends during this lockdown is to write letters of appreciation to their friends, be it on Facebook, be it on social media. You can write a letter of appreciation for somebody that you've never expressed gratitude for. You cannot go and hug them, you cannot go and touch them now, and you're separated by social distancing also. But can you write a nice thing about them on your Facebook? Can you write them a letter that you can take a picture of and send them on WhatsApp? So this is also a practice that you can do to develop that. And so that's why I call in my book I call them supplements. They're like vitamin supplements. That's why my book is called Vitamin G Gratitude, because these are supplements that you take daily. Okay, and then you will develop the immunity required to be able to face life's challenges. Grateful people are more easily adaptable and more prone to go through life when challenges like this come up.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Other exercises?
Sure, definitely. So,
You can
so
enlighten
some of the
other exercises.
definitely. So some of the things that we can do is also draw a list of things that we are grateful for. Like right now, we don't have so many things.
Okay.
So if we make a list of top 10 things, what am I grateful for? Who are the people that I'm grateful for? What are the circumstances that I'm grateful for? What are the problems and challenges that happened in my life that I'm grateful for? Because all our lessons that we learned in our life came because of those challenges. Today we have learned how to wash our dishes. For example, I have learned to cook greatly. I never knew that ability, talent was there in my life. Now I have learned it because there's nobody to cook, so obviously I have to cook everything. And putting some creativity into it, I have learned it. So one of what are the challenges that you who you are that you can do. Okay, then you can also make a list of all the things that you don't have right now. Okay, but you already conquered in your life before. There are lots of things that we have done in our life before. This is called a bucket. Like people make a bucket list of things of what they are grateful for or what they want to achieve. Like before I die, I want to go to Mount Kilimanjaro. Before I die, I want to see Alaska. Before I die, I want to go on Eiffel Tower. Something we all have these dreams. Before I become 50 or whatever, I want to make $1 million. So people have all kinds of bucket list. I have an exercise that is called the reverse bucket list, which means what you want to do, anyway, you can't plan right now today. Today, planning a little bit of our future is curtailed. So we don't know planning. But can we look at what we have already achieved? What we have already done and make a list of all the things that we have achieved already. That will give us some amount of positivity and some amount of confidence to be able to face all of life's challenges.
Yes, yes. Continue.
So also when we talked about how to handle ingratitude, one of the things that I always find is how do you handle people who are not who do not have a big idea about gratitude? Okay, because the first thing that I hear when I go to people and when I go to conferences and when I do teaching etc. is, can you please teach my daughter this, or can you teach this colleague of mine how to be grateful, because I think he's not grateful. So one of the things that I talk about gratitude is like bad breath. We cannot recognize it in ourselves. We can only see it in others. If others are having bad breath, we'll recognize immediately. But if we are having, we'll not know because we are living with it. So gratitude is also like that. It's something that we recognize the absence or lack in other people, but within us we can't see. So before even looking at whether other people are grateful or not, the best way is to be grateful ourselves and expand our own sphere of influence of being grateful. And that other people will recognize, other people will see that it's there, and they'll recognize the fragrance of it. They'll recognize the essence and the quality of it. And they in turn will reciprocate. Today, we are seeing so many examples. Like there was this lady that I saw in Hyderabad, a viral video. where she was giving a cool drink bottle to two policemen. She herself did not have money. Okay, but she was going and giving two cool drink bottles to a cop who was taking care of the containment area. So it's very difficult for us, okay, to appreciate these small things unless there is an event that makes us look at these. Now, coronavirus event has made us look at those small things, to look at what is the value of compassion, the value of empathy towards others, the value of being able to recognize those who are doing their duty and fulfilling and protecting us. Okay, the police used to have a very bad reputation in India generally. Okay, but suddenly their humorous aspect, their musical aspect, their ability to help others also is being recognized, which is not only negative. Now we are looking at positive also because of gratitude. Okay, like for example, the same thing in terms of technology, like for Uber drivers. Before Uber came and there was a star rating system, people used to be not very polite. Cars would not be maintained very well. Okay, sometimes they would be rude, etc. But that one sign of gratitude. What is that sign of gratitude? It's a very forced thing saying that you put 5 stars or 4 stars or 3 stars, then only he will get the next appreciation. That forced appreciation has made an entire industry change. Maybe our police department also will change, because suddenly we have got a movement of gratitude where people are appreciating them, where the symbiotic relationship that we have with them, because nobody is self-made. We are all dependent on each other to be able to live. Even the virus wants a body of ours so that it can survive. We are a symbiotic ecosystem that requires everything for us to survive. And if we are able to recognize that particular cycle, whereby we are dependent on other things and not so selfish and independent that we do not appreciate the other things that give us life also. And that is the lesson that we can take away from this.
Anamika, a question to you. You are a medical student, and see, during this not only this lockdown period, COVID crisis, and many times doctors are with the doctors, people, the general public rudely behave if they lose the, if their attendants lose, or if the patient loses a life. But we all know mistakes can happen at any level. For example, if it happens with higher officials, police and all politicians, it won't happen. Why it is happening with the doctors? Even though they are doing selfless service up to 90%, they are all prone for this ingrateful or gratitude-less behavior by the society. This made my my decision to take as my kids to opt for the engineering rather than choosing the medicine. Okay, how do you feel being in medical profession? Because there is a lot of uncertainty, especially the COVID-like infections. We don't know which infection will come at which time. So, how do you feel being in the medical profession? Especially the abuse by the society, and less grateful. They are less grateful towards the medical profession, even though we always see the medical profession as the topmost profession, especially.
From a place of acceptance, I do that because I got a job and this
Anamika, I'm not able to hear you.
I'm not audible.
You're audible now.
Yeah, am I audible right now?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
So I was saying that like people who do want to go into this medical profession do it in spite of knowing the risks that are involved with it. Like obviously there is the risk of acquiring certain infections, and likewise now there has become a risk of getting beaten up. But I think people who do really want to be a doctor, they do it in spite of this, in spite of knowing everything that could happen, because it does come from a place of love and acceptance. It does come from their passion towards this profession. So, and even apart from that, I believe all of us as a community, we're trying really hard to stop this and stop this beating up of doctors and all this violence that is directed towards us, because it comes, I believe, from a place of like not understanding really, and people don't really know how to process their emotions, and that is why I think it's a misdirected thing that we have to be victims of. So I believe all of us are really fighting for our protection and for our better quality of life for us. But I don't think that should stop or hamper anyone from wanting to become a doctor, because it is at the end of the day a great profession.
So I'm glad to hear that, Anamika, because I tried to discourage you for a lot of time, Dr. Hari has discouraged his kids from this. I remember taking you to a lot of doctors and making you understand what their life was. I remember taking you to some of my best friends who were doctors, and to various doctors wherever I could find an opportunity, so that I could discourage you from having that. And I'm so happy and grateful that you found that passion and that meaning and purpose in your life to be able to take that decision and to stand by it, because it's not an easy choice. It's not a choice that many of us are capable of knowingly. Okay, and still to make that choice is a decision that's applaudable. That is something that will stand you in good stead in your life, and may you never regret your choices that you have made, and may you never be in a position where that discourages you from doing what comes naturally to you, which is your calling. And I hope it doesn't come from a sense of duty, moral obligation, or what's right and wrong, but it comes from your heart in terms of this is what life is asking you to do. And I saw a story 2 days back of a father who's also a doctor, who's in his 70s, whose daughter was also a doctor, and she committed suicide because she said she could not see all the pain and the suffering and the number of deaths that were happening because of the COVID in US. And she was a duty doctor there, and she decided not to fight that battle anymore. She just got frustrated with it. She got angry with it, and I felt very sad when I saw that, because I was like, is this a perspective that one should have towards life, saying that because temporarily it's not working out, because this is temporary, this is very life will go on, life will survive, we have survived too many things. So what is the right perspective to have such that you can handle whatever is coming at you? What do you think is the perspective?
I think, like we spoke, having this perspective of being grateful, and that this too shall pass. This corona COVID crisis too shall pass, and we will get through this. Is the only perspective that we need to be happy right now. And seeing all our front. Yeah.
And also the thing is, sometimes it's also about the greater good of greater number of people. Like sometimes soldiers sacrifice their lives on the battlefield because they believe something is for the greater good of greater number of people. And all the decisions that right now that are being driven by that, saying what is good for the greater number of people, what is the greater good, and how is it useful for the greater number of people. And in that, certain choices have to be made and certain decisions taken, okay, which may be for the collective rather than for the individual. Okay, so where do you blur the boundary between the individual and the collective? Where is that we'll think of life as singular rather than all of us as an individual? Where do we move from that journey of being oneself to an idea of oneness? Where do we move to that idea of Vasudeva Kutumbam, where all of us are the same and one, Where do we move to us being individual part of the consciousness? Or where do we move where we are the ocean or the drop in the ocean or the ocean inside the drop? Where does the boundary of the collective and the self blur such that our decisions, our calling, and our internal choices come from that place is a place that today we can consider because of the COVID crisis. It tells us the idea of human race as one, if not the whole planet as one, if not the entire environment as one. At least we are able to come together as a race and say we are one. And as we expand that idea, gratitude is about expanding that idea of oneself to include maybe all nations, maybe all mankind, maybe all humankind, maybe the entire ecosystem, maybe all of Earth, maybe the entire universe, and maybe everything else beyond it also. And how are we part of that collective? And how are we yet singular? And that's a boundary. That's a journey of gratitude to be able to move from oneself to the idea of oneness. I don't know how much of it made sense, but
I feel like this really has taught us to be less selfish right now, that all of us are doing all the things that are required in order to help everyone around us and for the greater good, and to help the vulnerable population, to help everyone. So I think, yeah, it really has helped us let go of all this selfishness and this perspective of individuality, and this is what I want, I need my freedom. So yeah, it has really helped us. Another thing we
yeah,
can.
because if you look at it, what's the difference between the virus and us? The virus also wants to survive. The virus is intent on multiplicating, replicating, and surviving, right? Just as human beings, there's no difference in that ability of ours. Maybe we have bigger brains, but look at where our bigger brains have gotten us. We're not able to do anything about it. We still don't have a vaccination. We still don't know how to conquer it. And it is able to make us go inside and hide inside our houses. Okay. So it's not even an organism, right? Medically, is it an organism? It's a, it's a
One living.
yeah. So something that does not have life in the format that we think of it. Okay. Something that's just self-replicating, that's just wanting to expand, and something that's parasitical in terms of its nature of going on the body of something to survive, just like we do on Earth. Huh? We also survive on Earth, and we take care of nature and we take care of resources. So in that sense, we are not very different from the virus. Okay. So what's the difference? I mean, with all our thought, with all our technology, with all our, I mean, we have Uber. It doesn't have Uber, it doesn't have planes, yet it managed to take care and expand itself and go all over the world because it rode on us. So what is the difference that is there between that virus and us that, that can help us understand, okay, what is life and what is the meaning of life? What's the purpose of life? And where is it that we are headed? That life can make sense for all of us. So in that sense, when the virus is not so different from us in what it wants, okay, it's what the human race wants versus what it wants. And somewhere we will come to an existence where we balance out. Okay, there are millions of viruses and bacteria that helps us inside our body, that are helpful for our digestion, that are helpful for our bodily processes, that are there, that there are lots of viruses that come, that are flu, etc., so that one species does not dominate over the other. Because at the end of the day, we have to all live in balance. And the other word for balance is gratitude. When you're grateful, when you're in balance, then you're grateful for what it is and what it is not also. Because it's very easy to be grateful for what is. But is it great? But is it normal for what is not that we can be grateful for? Can we be grateful for deaths? Can we be grateful for the ability to bring us back and to appreciate and recognize what life is? That also is a lesson that the virus is teaching us, right? So with that, I think we should end this. I don't think Hari is able to join us again. So this has become a very two-sided interview. So we'll go ahead and end this. So what we'll do is let's do some let's do a little exercise that I would like to end it on, and I would like to close with that, so that there's a sense of closure to what we have been discussing. So the thing that I'm wanting right now is that all of us acknowledge at least 2 or 3 things. Okay, as the video closes, you can look at what are the 3 things that you're grateful for, be it people, be it places, etc. And please meditate on that. Please see if you can spend a few minutes in calmness, in appreciating what we have rather than what we want, in appreciating what is there rather than what is not there. And that would be appropriate. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to S-Cube and Dr. Hari for giving me an opportunity to have this interesting conversation with my daughter and with Hari, even though he was absent for most of the time, and to be able to share a little bit of things on gratitude. Anamika, you want to say something for closing?
Yeah, I think you've shown us quite a few exercises and practices that we can do even in these times of crisis. And stay safe, everyone. Stay at home. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.